Dear friends of Divine Journey, we are here in Seabreeze Farm Delta with our friend Jerry. Thank you for allowing us to be here with you.
You're very welcome, Judith.
It has been a pleasure to walk and see what amazing work that you're doing here. I would like, please, if you don't mind, to share how do you initiate with this idea and what are you doing? That is really important.
Okay. No, we've been producing biogas now for a little over 2 years, and working on the project now probably 5 years. And originally why we started with the project was we were part of a feasibility study, and when we looked at the numbers, it came back fairly favorable. And so for us as a farm, it was a way of diversifying and another revenue generator. And that was the reason we started looking at it and going down this path.
It's amazing to have also that technology, and that's why Antonio Saavedra, thank you for the connect us with Jerry and be able for us to present this project to our friends out there, for them to have the idea how this works and how easy it is to produce
biomethane.
Yes, an alternative energy.
Yes.
That is really important that they know about it and it's able for us to contribute in that way. So
yes, yeah. I mean, obviously, we very happy working with Seabreeze Farm. Jerry, obviously, his vision. What we contribute is in how we can purify biogas, which is produced by the organic waste, either for animal waste or agricultural waste. So it's a very perfect kind of a concept in terms of how to make this loop happen. Is Seabreeze has the cows, has also agricultural waste. They can basically produce biogas by putting this organic waste in digesters, and after that the next step will be to purify biogas, which normally is 60% methane, 40% CO2. So we remove CO2 and then we produce renewable natural gas, which is basically just replacing a conventional natural gas to be injected into the pipeline.
for you, my friends, you say, okay, that was too much information. So that is why we visit Jerry and we were with Kevin, your son, that is the third generation taking care of this farm. And we were walking around showing step one with the beautiful caps that you have, and we see how well they are attained and maintained. And also we visit the step two, where is when you have that big container, like it's a container that all the waste go in, and you facilitate even for restaurants to bring that waste food here.
Yes.
Can you share how that they start and how that happened?
Sure. So, being a dairy farm, our number one product is milk. So we produce milk. We milk about 350 cows, and our number one goal is to produce high quality milk for the consumer. And so along with that comes the manure from the cows. And as you pointed out, that all goes in the digester. But along with that, we also bring in the waste from Metro Vancouver. And why that's important is, even though the manure is an excellent base, it's where the bugs start. The manure is a very important part of it. The real gas production comes from the off-farm waste. So generally speaking, 20% of the gas that we produce comes from the manure, but 80% of it comes from the off-farm product. That's why it's important to bring pre and post-consumer waste. It's mostly pre-consumer waste. It's organics, it's fats, oils, and greases from restaurants, and that's very important to get good gas production. High quality and volume.
High quality and volume. So, and how much that help you in your vision for your the new families that you are planning to keep this farm for long term?
Yes.
So that was part of your vision, or how do you start with that
Well,
idea?
the idea, we went with the digester and producing biogas, renewable energy, because it was a revenue generator, and as a farm, we're always looking to be efficient and looking at diversifying and bringing more revenue into the farm, and that's our goal. It's become more and more evident that it's also something that's very important environmentally. With greenhouse gas reduction, the greenhouse gas emissions are way less with the digester. Consumers really like the idea of taking waste and producing a renewable gas, plus taking the digestate and feeding it back to the soil again. So you have a circle. It starts with the soil. You feed the soil. You feed the cows, produce the milk. The waste goes to the digester along with consumer waste, and that gets the renewable gas, and then it turns into a fertilizer which goes back onto the soil again.
So this is here in Delta, in Vancouver, Antonio, and your experience working in Canada. How much is the farmers open for using this technology here? But I know you are also working in different projects around the world, so it will be nice for our friends to know where are you visiting and working and creating this possibility.
Yeah, there's many different sources to produce renewable natural gas. One is basically landfills. So landfills today produce biogas with organic waste going to the landfills. The second one is wastewater treatment plants, where they also collect organic waste to produce biogas. And the third one, and I think the most important, is all the animal waste, agricultural waste going to from farmers, going to this digester system where they produce biogas and then purify. I think Canada is basically just after Europe, which is ahead of us. Canada is putting a lot of efforts in supporting the animal waste, agricultural waste, and the government, particularly in Canada, had been promoting this way to make alternative energy through supporting programs.
Okay. So how do you feel about the decision that you made 5 years ago? So you're the pioneer in this area with this technology.
It's not been an easy number of years. It's fairly new technology for us here on the farm, but also for here in Canada. So there's been glitches and hiccups, but one thing we're very confident as a farm is that we are on the right path. We know we're doing the right thing, and we often get asked the question, if you could do it all over again, would you do it all over again? And we confidently say, yes, we would do it all over again. We have learned a lot, and there's still much more to learn. And I think as we move ahead, it'll get better for us as a farm too.
For a new farmer out there that is willing to consider this possibility, what they need to keep in mind or in place, like in Argentina, in Colombia, in Mexico, in US, and in Canada still. So what are the points that they say, yeah, I can apply and that technology can be used here in my field?
Yes, so basically there will be 3 different steps. One is the amount of organic waste they can produce. So own and be sure that there's enough organic waste that they can collect, put in some place together that they can produce biogas, but has to be constant, has to be something that is continually providing this amount of organic waste. The second thing is also have who is going to buy this gas, who's going to buy to the renewable natural gas, and then means that you need a buyer for that renewable natural gas. And the one in the middle is the technology. So once they define the technology, because in the market is different technologies, we use water wash technology to remove CO2 from methane and increase the heating value. But there is many other technologies in the market, and the farmer has to decide, investigate, and realize what is the one that fit for their own use.
And in the case that GreenLane is using and promoting, what are the benefits?
The benefits about the GreenLane technology is basically that we use straight water. We don't use chemicals. So the water and certain conditions, pressure and temperature, we able to remove all the impurities, CO2 basically, and then increase concentration of methane. Yeah.
Yes, Jerry, you wanted to say a comment for the new farmers that they are considering to implement a new technology to help their own,
It might be tough for new farmers, but because of cost. But then that's a two-pointed thing. I think with this technology, it allows us to milk in an efficient way more cows on a smaller acreage because we do nutrient recovery. And that's why I do believe you're going to see this technology growing and become more and more uptake for it. The people will want to be doing it. But I think the important thing for us to point out too is Fortis's position in all this is because Fortis offered us a contract for that renewable gas. That's what makes this feasible. Without it's people voluntarily signing up to renewable natural gas and then willing to pay a premium for that. That's what makes this tick. Like this whole thing is not subsidized. Like it runs on its own merits. It's not subsidized, no tax dollars go into it, but it's people voluntarily signing up to renewable energy who are very conscious about the environment and want to do the right thing. It's not just homeowners, but it's businesses too that say, yes, we want to sign up to renewable energy and take and make that footprint on the environment smaller. And that's important to them and willing to pay for it. That's what makes this whole thing pencil out. And that's why we're here. If it wasn't for people and Fortis putting this program together, we would not be doing this as a farm.
Yeah, that is the key that you say. So we produce the waste, GreenLease help us to do the installation of the technology, but we have that third part that is making the contract for us to reduce all that alternative energy
Exactly.
at the end.
Yes.
So it's three pieces: the farm, the technology, and the government or the big industries there that they need to be connected.
Exactly. In this particular case, the utility company, right? I mean, this is the natural gas company. For these projects, Fortis BC is the utility company who is basically the buyer, and having this program to support local farmers buying the gas with a premium helps a lot, because the numbers became easy for the end user to show the business cases. This is important. Otherwise, they are not going to invest probably if they don't get that kind of support.
What is the big benefit and the big impact that you are creating choosing this way of running your farm?
The big benefit for us as a dairy farm, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Ag was very concerned as to how we were going to handle our nutrients. You have a land base. Fraser Valley is not that big. You have large dairy herds, large poultry farms, and here you have a small land base and with a lot of nutrients already, and now you're bringing more nutrients onto that farmland. How are you going to deal with it? And it's because this technology, this income, we have now implemented a nutrient recovery system where you pull the phosphorus and the nitrogen out of your manure, out of your digestate, and you have it in a condensed form, and you can now create another market or haul it to a place that's short of phosphorus, or short of fertilizer, and now you have a very rich fertilizer that you can move around economically.
And for companies like Greenland, the benefit of the people that is open to use this technology, what will be the first benefit that they can see?
I think it's the easy operation. I mean, the plan is something that is basically just provided with all the equipment necessary to basically just plug and play. There is a control system that we basically send the signals to the customer just to be sure that they can control or see how the equipment is performing just by seeing in the screen. There is things like many other technologies may need a kind of a pre-treatment technology to be sure that removes some impurities. In our case, water is able because the absorption or the physical absorption they can make with the separation of the gases is making easy and no need pre-treatment, just basically just use Greenland technology to remove CO2, H2S, which is hydrogen sulfide, and then increase the purity of methane.
Okay, dear friends, you had some ideas for today and how if you own a farm or you are part of the government part there or you work for a big company in your country or city, please share this information. They can contact you by email if they had questions. And Jerry, we are so pleased. You had a beautiful family, beautiful place here. Thank you for sharing that with us. I had the experience that in my family we are farmers in Mexico, so I was so passionate to come and visit you, and especially because it's third generation in this case. So congratulations.
Thank you
very
much,
having us here
You're very
and
welcome.
be part of the Vine journey. And as I mentioned, Tonio and Jerry, we need to share what we are doing right. The world needs to know what the people is doing right.
Absolutely. It's very important.
And I would like to say thank you to you, Antonio, for making this possible and allow us to connect with one of your customers. Thank you for that. And I hope that next project will be in maybe Japan or Argentina. We are willing to go and you can show us and share with our friends, and they get more inspiration and they start making that change.
Yeah, we have projects all around the world, so anytime.
You were traveling, actually, you just arrived yesterday from
a meeting in Toronto and then South America, so that was a week away, but now here in Vancouver, and happy to do this interview and introduce Jerry to you, because I believe this is a very important project that we can share and show the benefit to produce alternative energy by closing the loop with organic waste and recycling and injecting to the pipeline gas utility company that is able to distribute the gas, and then you also able to open in your kitchen
and cook all the delicious food and
Exactly.
You know and have the right amount of energy in our house. So we are thankful for everything that you're doing on the field, and now we were able to share with our friends part of that magic. Thank you to you, my friends out there, for being with us today. It's a pleasure that you open your mind and your heart for us, and thank you for you to make that difference around the world. Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.